the Bad Bunny experience with Booker T. It was definitely one of those deals, man. Like you say, a first, something that I never thought about doing. But there again, man, I talk about it all the time as far as making people feel a certain way in the wrestling business. It's like movies. It's like Broadway. It's like, Phantom of the Opera, Encore, Bravo. You make people feel a certain way. That's what happens. And Bad Bunny, a young kid, young Puerto Rican kid, didn't even speak English, but he's watching television and he see a character on television that he goes, man, what is this? And he was watching me in the King Booker era, where I was like, what was it? It was like, it was definitely Shakespearean. It was definitely, over the top to where I don't even. I'm sure they had, television and it was translated, but I think it was so universal from just a visual perspective. You go, wow, what is this? You know what I mean? As well as the fans were really, really going crazy at that time. They hated King Booker or they loved King Booker. One of the two. Then to see a kid like Bad Bunny come to where he is right now in his life, to where he is the hottest artist out there, if not, he's one of the hottest, if not the hottest artist out there, doing it as big as he is, to want to represent me and say, man, I'm gonna make a song about Booker T. That says a whole lot, man. It really does, because there again, it's been a lot of wrestlers, a lot of guys that's been in the game. And he chose me to do that and I was like, wow, to put me on another level as far as mixing with a total different genre. It really is amazing. And there again, man, I'm humble to the utmost to be a part of something like that. And there again, to be on stage last night, Royal Rumble. It really don't get no bigger than that.
No.
As far as exposure go, and there again, I was just standing there, just doing my part. But I always
I saw Freddie Prinze Jr. say on Twitter, man, how did Booker T remember all that choreography?
No, man. But that's the art of the game, man. That's the art of the game. The art of doing nothing. Freddie Prinze knew that he still have a job. I got it that time, didn't I?
Oh, that was good. But walk it through. Let me ask you this, because this is now at least the second time that y'all have been somewhere doing this, right? Either you're shooting the video with Bad Bunny, or you're here at the Royal Rumble. I know you've had several interactions with him via Zoom or what have you. What is y'all's? Have y'all become like tight? Do y'all have like a relationship, or is it, hey, what's up, Bad? What's up, Book? How I just want to know. I'm just curious.
You know what, man? I never try to get in people's space like that.
Yeah.
I never try to jump in somebody's world just because they look up to me and they admired me, and then we do a project together. And then all of a sudden, I think that we're friends and we're the best of buddies or something like that. I don't look at it like that at all. It was definitely a business arrangement. It was definitely something there again. Like I say, I'm humble that he chose me to do it, and then big ups when I see him. You know what I mean? It's all love because there again, we both got a connection. But if he was to call me for something tomorrow and say, hey, Book, can you do this for me? I'd be like, yeah, man, no problem. And I think if I was to call him and ask him, hey, buddy, can you help me out with this? He'll probably say, no problem. But I always just try to keep a relationship on those levels right there. And if it grows to be something, you'll know it. but you don't try to force something. You don't try to make, yourself someone's friend, because it could definitely, turn into something ugly.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I hear that. But I mean, what was the vibe? Was he, because I know he's such a big fan of WWE. We've talked about it before. I mean, obviously he had the Eddie Guerrero shirt on in the Mia video with Drake. He's a big fan. What was his vibe like being able to be on the stage now, Royal Rumble? You know what I mean? Could you see any kind of thing in his eyes, or did he mention anything to you about how special this moment may have been for him?
Oh, you know what? He didn't, but I could definitely see it in his vibe and the way he felt, even in rehearsal when we was doing the song. And man, he was ready, man. He was running around like crazy. And but I honestly, this is what I wanted more than anything. Bad Bunny getting a chance to do something in WWE. I most definitely, had so much fun, doing the song and whatnot, and then doing this segment with him later on with Miz and Morrison. But I did not want to take any away of the spotlight from him. I didn't want to take any shine away from him or anything like that. So to see how he went out there and held his own as far as coming out and doing the stuff with Miz and Morrison, and then Damian Priest, with the assist. I thought it was great. I really do. But I thought, with me being, anywhere near him in that instance right there, I thought it would have took away something from him. So I blessed him and said, after we did the song and whatnot, and let him know that, hey man, it's all on you, dog. It's all on you as far as what happens from here going forward. And I think Bad Bunny did a pretty good job.
Oh yeah, no, I think he did a great job. And I guess that would be a cool segue into the Royal Rumble. But did you see Twitter's reaction to y'all's performance? I mean, Twitter was pretty happy with what they saw overall.
You know what? I don't see why you can't be happy with it. I mean,
except for the few people who are like, I didn't understand anything that he said. I'm like, yeah, because it's a different language, but you can still feel the vibe. You know what I mean?
It's a different language, but you may not have understood it, but it was
hundreds of millions of people.
I don't know how many Bad Bunny fans, they understood it. You know what I'm saying? So the one that didn't understand it, hey, and more power to you, brother. You better go get some classes and take some Spanish or something. But but I tell you, just the audience that it reached from Bad Bunny doing something like that, and then, like I say, for me just to get a rub. That's all I was looking for, was just a rub, and it was a hell of a rub. And hopefully there again in the future, Bad Bunny and I can do something else. Hopefully reality of wrestling, we could get Bad Bunny to do something with reality of wrestling. We got to get this pandemic under control, man. We got to get this thing under control, because I think it's definitely that to be done.
Yeah, and by the way, 46 million views on YouTube for the music video to Booker T and Bad Bunny. 46 million. It's a lot of people, man. that song's touching a lot of people. And it was cool and you know what? Shout out to WWE also for recognizing that, hey, somebody did a song about a two-time Hall of Famer, one of four in our company's history, and maybe we should go ahead and, acknowledge that and acknowledge him and give him this platform with the Royal Rumble. That was really cool. Last question about this, though. How hard was it to keep a straight face?
No, bro. I mean, that's not hard, man.
That wasn't hard?
No,
I would have been cracking.
Bro, after being King Booker, having to hold that face and play that role, you can't crack under pressure or anything like that. You gotta be in the moment. No, seriously, in the moment. I was definitely in the moment. You just think about Public Enemy and Public Enemy's crew. Man, you don't think those guys, was so deep off into what they were doing that they thought it was real?
Right.
The background, I don't know if you remember the videos, the Public Enemy used to do. They always had some dancers behind them, always looked militant, and they always looked very, very mean. Always like, like the Black Panthers or something. You know what I mean? They look mean, and they were always dancing and making. Those guys had to be on point when it came to looking a certain way and acting a certain way, and that's what good actors do. For me, I could have stood there all night, and the thing is, I was trying my best not to blink.
Yeah.
I just keep it straight. I mean, because there again, man, you get the smallest role, and you got to be able to amplify the smallest role and make it the biggest role. Because that's just the way. It's just the way it is. It's just like in the Predator, the movie The Predator. Bill Duke, his role in The Predator was one of the biggest roles, in perhaps movie history. And it was a very, very small role. But the way he captured it, the way he brought those scenes to life, you're in the Hall of Fame, sucker. We'll be back in a minute.